Hi guys, it's the kitchen coach Chris back in the kitchen, and I'm going to show you how to make a delicious easy breakfast. Now this breakfast is a classic. It's beans on toast, and I don't know about you guys, but whenever I buy tin beans I absolutely love them, but they tend to be quite full of salt, quite full of sugar. So I'm going to show you a really nice way of making beans on toast at home yourself with loads of flavour. So beans on toast is an absolute classic. It's great for breakfast, lunch, you can even have it for your tea if you like. I'm going to show you my version of it. Now, just a few things, as we always do, we'll talk through the ingredients. So we've got some onions here. We're going to be just gently frying those off in a little bit of oil. We've got some passata. Now, passata is basically sieved tomatoes. You could use chopped tomatoes, you could use plum tomatoes. This is just convenient, really. And then beans that we're using haricot beans. You could use chickpeas, butter beans, cannellini beans, just get adventure. You could even use kidney beans. But we're going to be using these beans, great source of fibre. And not only that, but it's a great source of protein as well, and they're cheap. And then in terms of our spices for flavouring, we've got some smoked paprika. And for those guys who are regular viewers to my channel, you will know that I love smoked paprika, full of flavour. It's going to, take away the need for us to add salt as well. So we're going to be adding a bit of that in. We've got some mixed herbs, and then of course we've got some Hendersons Yorkshire Gold. So a little splash of that, just to add a bit of acidity, but not too much due to the salt content in there. And we've also got some garlic as well, and I'm just going to grate a bit of garlic into the mix. So it's time to start cooking, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've just got my pan on, and I'm using a lovely frying pan here. It's got a bit of a deeper side on there. You could use a saucepan, you could even use a wok if you like. And I'm just going to measure out my oil, as we always do, into a warm pan. So I've got about a tablespoon of oil. Now this will serve about 2 people. You might even have some leftovers as well. Into the pan, and then you can see it just spreads around. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our onions. And I've just finely chopped these. You can roughly chop them, do whatever size you want really. So in with the onions. And we're just going to gently cook these down until they start to go translucent. A little bit lighter in colour. And get a little bit of goldness in them. So we'll get those frying. So my onions have been cooking down now for a few minutes. Gone a little bit golden, a little bit lighter in colour. Looking really, really nice and smelling good as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some garlic. Just turn it down a little bit. We don't want the garlic to burn. And then I'm just going to use a microplane, but you could use a box grater. You could just finely chop it if you want to. And I'm just going to grate in some of the garlic. I love a bit of garlic. This is just going to add a really nice flavour to the dish as well. So we'll just bang in a bit of the garlic, make sure it's all off the bottom there, and then we'll just stir that in gently. And then at this stage really, you could add the spices in now, start to toast them off if you want to, or you can add them in a little later on down the line. That's absolutely fine as well. But we're thinking about adding in our beans. So as I say, I'm using haricot beans here. These are lovely little, tiny little beans. They're absolutely delicious. Put them in salads, things like that as well. Heart healthy, full of fibre. They're cheap. As I say, a great source of protein as well. So the garlic's been cooking for around about a minute, just softening off. Now it's time to add in the beans. So in with our lovely haricot beans, and we'll give that a little stir around. So yes, so I like beans and toast the weekend. It's a nice little dish to do. This is a lovely, quick and easy way to do it. You know exactly what's gone into it. You control the amount of salt that goes in as well. If there's any leftovers that they'll keep, you can have them the next day as well if you like. So the beans are warming through now, and I think at this stage now I'm actually going to add in my spices. So first of all, I'm going to start with the mixed herbs, and we're going to put in about a teaspoon of mixed herbs. Doesn't matter if it goes over a little bit. There we go. And then in with the smoked paprika, which I absolutely love. And then we can give that a little bit of a mix round. And it's already starting to smell really, really nice. You're getting that smokiness. You can see the herbs in there. The onions soften down nicely. I'm excited for this. And I love, like I say, having a bit of beans on toast for a breakfast. It just kind of feels quite filling as well, So we'll give that a little stir around. And then if you just have a little look at that, in fact, let's have a look there. Look at that. Okay, delicious. So that's the base of the beans. And it's already starting to look a bit like your favourite kind of tins of beans and what have you, but less salt, less sugar, and that's the key with this one. And it hardly takes any time to make as well, guys. So we're just warming them through now, getting the lovely aroma starting to come through now from the smokiness and the herbs and the onions and the garlic. So we're going to add in our passata. And as I say, it's just sipped tomatoes, but use chopped tomatoes if you like. You can use plum tomatoes as well if you prefer. You could blend them down in a liquidizer, a NutriBullet with a stick blender, or if you've got just plum tomatoes, just break them up with your spoon. So in with the passata, get it all scraped out. Don't like to waste anything. Give it a little stir around. Ho ho ho! Just looks like proper beans. Look at that, delicious. And then of course, a little splash of Yorkshire Gold. In with the Hendersons, little stir around, just gives it a nice bit of acidity. And I'm just gonna let it warm through. And while that's warming through, I'm gonna pop my bread into the toaster, and then it'll be ready for a bit of beans on toast for breakfast. Beautiful. So the beans are warming through, just nice and gentle, so easy. Got some bread, wholemeal sourdough, absolutely love this stuff, nice for the gut as well. So I've just chopped off a couple of slices. I'm just going to pop them in my trusty toaster. We'll pop that on, like so. And when that's done, we're ready to serve up. It couldn't be easier, guys. Just have a little look at that. It's absolutely delicious. Look at that. Beans ready for beans on toast. Made by yourself. You know exactly what's gone into it. Heart healthy, full of fibre, great source of protein. Can't wait. I'm going to add a touch of pepper. So just a little touch of pepper in there. Give it a mix up. And then as soon as my toast's done, it's ready to dish up. Toast done. Some nice sourdough, wholemeal there. My beans have warmed through. So I'm just going to take some of these now, just to sit on top of my toast. Oh, look at that. Some left over, or some to share, up to yourself. We can turn that off now. And then that is it. That is your beans on toast. So simple, made from scratch. Pan on, oil in, onions, just cook down gently. Grate in your garlic, got that in. Add in your spices along with your beans. Add in the passata or chopped tomatoes. Let it warm through, a little bit of pepper. Bang your toast on, and there you have it. Beans on toast, absolute classic. So of course, got to have a try. Oh, hot. Yep, it's beautiful. You know, you've got the smoked paprika, so of course you're getting the smokiness. You've got the herbs in there. You've got the tomatoes, the Yorkshire Gold for a little bit of acidity in there. It just comes together really well. It's all made from scratch. A little bit of pepper for your seasoning as well. We're forgetting the salt. We're not putting any salt in. It's just lovely. So give it a go, guys. If you're looking to make a few changes in your diet, to get a little bit healthier, to look after yourself a bit more, ditch the tins, guys. Start making it yourself. It's so easy. Just give it a go. I'm off to have some.